Namaskaram. In our Urukadai Salitama series, today let us have a look on a story from Brahmavartapu Aranan. The story is from Krishna, Janma, Kanda, about humbling of Lord Indra. We will explore the Indira and the ants story. On the request of Goddess Radha, God Hari narrates the story of Lord Indra and how his pride was humbled. Sage Twasta, father of Vishwarupa, incensed over his son's death at the hands of Lord Indra, performed sacrifice to create enemies for Lord Indra. And from the sacrificial pit came out a great demon called Vritrasura. The Vritrasura in his rage continued to persecute the gods freely. Lord Indra, the vanquisher of demons, with a view to chastise his enemy Vritrasura, constructed that thunderbolt with the bones of the great Muni Datichi, and killed Vritrasura, who was a thorn in the way of the Devas. Whereupon, Brahmahatriya, murder of the Brahmin incarnate, clad in scarlet and in the guise of an old woman, rushed towards the bewildered Indra. Lord Indra then remembered the lotus feet of his guru and entered into the slender fiber of the stalk of lotus of the Manasa pond. Therein Brahmahatriya was unable to enter through the curse of Brahma. Later, when Indra requested Guru Vrihaspati for his protection, Guru, with the help of Radha's amulet, Samsara Vijaya, reduced Brahmahatriya to ashes. Guru Vrihaspati and Lord Indra then went to heaven. During the period of the supremacy of Vritrasura, the majestic mansions of the lofty city of the Devas had cracked and crumbled. Lord Indra on his part deputed the divine architect Vishvakarma to reconstruct heaven. Within a year, Vishvakarma completed the construction with excellent gems and wonderful diamonds. There were marvelous palaces, gardens, lakes and towers. It looked very lovely indeed. But Indra was not, even then, satisfied. The demands of Indra became more exacting and his unfolding visions vaster. Whenever Indra arrived to appraise the work of Vishvakarma, he developed vision beyond vision of marvels remaining to be contrived. Vishvakarma, unable to leave without Lord Indra's command, sought the protection of God Brahma, who, knowing his purpose, addressed him, "Tomorrow, you will be freed from your task." Hearing this, Vishvakarma soon went back to heaven. On the other hand, God Brahma went to the Vaikuntha, bowed to God Hari and announced his will. Hari, by a mere nod of the head, let it be known that the request of Vishvakarma would be fulfilled, consoled Brahma, and sent him back. Hari, wielded the form of a child, arrived at heaven's gate and informed the warder to let Indra know about the arrival of a Brahmin at the gate to see him. The warder went accordingly and told Indra, who came hastily. Indra reverentially bowed to Hari in the guise of child. Having greeted the Brahmin boy with oblations of honey and milk, asked about the arrival of the noble soul at his gates. The Brahmin boy replied about the construction of the wonderful city that he had heard of, inquired about further feats of engineering that Vishwakarma is expected to accomplish, and praised no Indra before him had ever succeeded in effecting such a construction. Full of the wine of triumph, the king of the Devas was entertained by this mere boy's pretension to a knowledge of Indras earlier than himself. With a loud laugh, he asked of the very many Indras and Vishvakarmas whom the Brahmin boy had seen, or at least heard of. The wonderful guest calmly nodded and addressed Indra using words delightful to the ears like nectar, that how he knew Indira's father, Prajapati Kashyapa, and grandfather Marichi, the saint whose wealth consisted in his devotion. How Marichi was begotten the Brahma, who in turn was brought forth by Vishnu from his navel. And knowledge he knew about the Supreme Being Vishnu himself, who supports Brahma in his creative endeavor. The Brahmin boy further said, "O king of the Devas, I have known the dreadful dissolution of the universe, turning it into a huge mass of water void of all sign of animate being. I have seen all perish again and again, at the end of every cycle. Who will count the universes that have passed away, or the creations that had risen again and again from the formless abyss of the vast waters? Who will search through the wide infinity of space to count the universes side by side, each containing its own Brahma, Vishnu and Shiva? Who will number the Indras in them all, reigning in all the innumerable worlds? Those others who have passed away before them, or even the Indras who succeed each other in any given line, one by one, ascending to kingship, and one by one, passing away. O king of the Devas, there are among your servants who maintain that it may be possible to number the grains of sand on earth and the drops of rain that fall from the sky, but no one will ever number all those Indras. This is what the knowers know. The life and kingship of one Indra endure 7 yugas, and when 28 Indras have expired, 1 day and night of Brahma has elapsed. But the existence of one Brahma, measured in such Brahma days and nights, is only 108 years. Brahma follows Brahma, one sinks, the next arises. The endless series cannot be told. There is no end to the number of Brahmas, to say nothing of Indras. As delicate boats float on the waters of the world, the Brahm and as egg of Brahma the genesis of creation float on the fathomless, pure waters that form the body of Vishnu. Out of every pore of the body of Vishnu, a universe bubbles and breaks. Will you presume to count them? Will you calculate the gods in all those worlds as the world's present and the world's past? While the best of the beings was speaking thus, a procession of ants had made its appearance in the hall. In an array, in a column 4 yards wide, the tribe paraded across the floor. The boy noted them and laughed loudly, but immediately subsided into a profoundly indrawn and deep silence. Indra, when he heard the ballad of the Brahmin boy and witnessed his laugh, asked the reason for the laugh. The magnificent boy resumed, I laughed because of the ants. The cause is mysterious. This secret is the living air of those yogis who, versed in the Vedas, renounce and transcend mortal existence. But it crushes the pride of foolish worldlings. Indra asked,
O son of a Brahmin, I do not know who you are in the guise of a boy. You seem to be wisdom incarnate. Reveal to me this secret of the ages, this light that dispels the dark.
The boy opened to the Lord the hidden wisdom rarely acquired even by the yogis. I saw the ants, O Indra, filing in long parade. Each was once an Indra. Like you, each by virtue of karma once ascended to the rank of an Indra. But now, through many rebirths, each has become again an ant. This army is an army of former Indras. It is by karma that one attains to the position of a Brahmin or a god or Indra or Brahma or acquires happiness or sorrow. It is through karma that one becomes a master or a servant, acquires beauty or deformity, or is reborn in the condition of a monster. This karma is subservient to character, which in its turn is controlled by habit. This is the whole substance of the secret. This wisdom is the ferry to happiness and beatitude, across the ocean of hell. Meanwhile, another amazing apparition had entered the hall. It was a very old ascetic, great in wisdom and years. The great Indra, when he saw the newcomer, joyfully bowed to him, reverentially offered him oblations of honey and milk, humbly inquired into his welfare, and with pleasure and esteem offered him the hospitality due to a guest. Whereupon the boy addressed the holy man, asking the very questions Indra himself would have proposed. O Brahmin, whence have you come? What is your name and what brings you to this place? Why in your chest is the circle of hair dense at the circumference, but almost bare at the center? Be kind enough to answer, in brief, these questions. I am anxious to understand. The Muni, hearing the words of the boy, slowly began his reply. My name is Lamesha, the hairy one. The cause of my arrival is to behold Indra. Since I know I am short-lived, I have decided to build no house, neither to marry nor to seek a livelihood. I exist by begging alms. As to the circle of hair on my chest, it is a source of fear to the people of the world, but nevertheless teaches wisdom. With the fall of an Indra, one hair drops. That is why in the center all the hairs have gone. When the other half of the period allotted to Brahma expires, I myself am destined to die. When the mere twinkle of the eyes of Hari causes the fall of a Brahma, it necessarily follows that all this is unreal. Faith in Hari is greater than redemption and is rarely to be secured. All prosperity is transient like a dream and interferes with one's belief in Hari. Shamu, Shiva, the highest spiritual guide, taught me this wonderful wisdom. So saying, the Muni abruptly vanished and returned to Kailasa, for he had been Shiva himself, and Vishnu in the guise of the boy also disappeared. Indra was amazed to behold this wonderful phenomenon, which seemed to him to have been a dream. He no longer felt the slightest desire to secure worldly prosperity. The Lord of 100 sacrifices, i.e. Indra, who is known as Shatakratu since he achieved his position as the king of the Devas by performing 100 sacrifices, summoned Vishvakarma, graciously greeted him with sweet words, heaped on him a very large number of precious gems, then with a sumptuous celebration, sent him home. Hope you had an opportunity to learn something new today. Let us reconnect in another interesting blog post. Dhanyavadam.